later in this episode.
From the AllEars vault. Okay, we're opening the vault here for a second. People on the AllEars team don't even know this, and I'm sharing this with you on the internet for you all to find out.
But first,
if you have ever dreamed about working at the most magical place on earth, well, just grab your Mickey ears, because today we are going to be talking about how to apply for the Disney College Program. I actually got these on my Disney College Program. So you get a little tassel.
Now, you might be asking, what is the Disney College Program? The Disney College Program, aka the DCP, is a paid internship where college students get to work at Walt Disney World, live in company-sponsored housing, and gain real-world experience that'll look super shiny on your resume. It's more than a job. It's an immersive experience where you work at Walt Disney Resort and live with fellow cast members from all over the country. You'll gain professional skills in hospitality, entertainment, retail, and food and beverage, all while learning Disney's legendary customer service ethos. Educational offerings include career development classes, networking events, and even chances to learn from Disney executives. Participants often form lifelong friendships. Many even return for full-time careers or second and third DCP stints. Now, we've made videos already about what the Disney College Program is and maybe a little behind the scenes look at the Disney College Program, and you should definitely go watch those videos as well. But today's video is different. We are going to walk you through the entire application process, so you will know exactly what to expect when you apply.
Okay, so your first step is you need to mark your calendars, all right? There are going to be 2 times to apply for the Disney College Program. One is in the fall and one is in the spring, so you can kind of figure that out. But applications are gonna open on specific dates, which is when you need to start those calendars. For example, the fall sessions, if you wanna go during the fall, your applications are gonna start opening in February. Follow me? The spring sessions, those are gonna open up in August. So you're kind of applying like the August ahead of the spring that you wanna go, or the February before the fall you wanna go. We highly recommend bookmarking disneyprograms.com and following them across all social media, because that is when they make sure to give big announcements, do specific dates, all that good jazz. For me, I know that even to this day, it's been 6 years, I still get emails every single time DCP applications go live. Highly recommend it. That's going to be the best and most accurate way to find out when things are opening up. In our experience, we actually recommend that you apply the moment you can. The day the applications drop, we kind of recommend getting your name in. The earlier the better in our experience. I know, I do think I applied the day they dropped the first time. And Fry actually applied 1 semester early to kind of like get into the idea of what it's gonna be like, what that process looks like, before she actually ended up going. I really hadn't planned on going my sophomore year of college, and I was like, well, I'll get turned down this time, and then I'll apply next semester, I'll have a better idea, and then I'll go. And it ended up working out. So everyone's experience is different. I actually had a roommate who I want to say she applied 5 or 6 times before she finally kind of figured out what the process looked like for her and what her best answers were to get into the program and to get to experience that. Just go ahead and apply. You never know what's gonna happen. You might get turned down, and that's a-okay. Go ahead and apply. At the end of the day, you can always turn it down and not accept your role and still have a good idea on what it looks like.
Step number 2, make sure you're eligible. In order to be a Disney College Program participant, you must be 18 years or older, you must be enrolled in college or recently graduated, and you must have at least 1 semester completed of college. You can't just apply for school and then apply for the DCP. You gotta do a little bit of school. Now that includes community college, undergrad, grad programs, and technical schools. If you're looking to do the DCP after you graduate, you must have graduated from an accredited U.S. college, university, or higher education program within 24 months of the application date. That's what I did. I didn't do the DCP until after I graduated because I didn't want to spend a semester away from school. So I wanted to do both. International students are not eligible unless enrolled in U.S. institutions and meet work authorization requirements. But Disney also has their international program for college students who are from other countries. There's no GPA requirement, but a clean school record and solid references help. The website also states you must be fully available to work Sunday through Saturday, including days and nights, holidays, and overtime. Be receptive to exposure to outside elements including heat and/or humidity, cold temperatures, wet conditions, and prolonged standing or walking. And finally, former Disney College Program participants must wait 4 months after their last departure before applying again.
Apply online. That's what you're gonna do for our next step. And this is essentially going to be a resume. You're not necessarily submitting one, but that is what this section is gonna be. So it's a basic job application. You're gonna put your personal information, your education history, your work experience, and this is kind of the thing where I think you get to put up to 5 jobs, and this is where you wanna start highlighting experience you've had using some of those like key Disney words. So things like guest service, safety, efficiency, etc. All those like lovely Disney buzzwords that you might think about, toss those in here. There are lots of ways to use those terms with experience that you have. You just might have to be a little bit smarter or be a little bit creative. And you know what? Ask for help sometimes. I know I did. Before you do get any further though, this is a great time to talk about those 5 keys. I kind of just mentioned it, but Disney runs on the keys. You're actually gonna learn a lot about it on your Disney College program. They actually teach an entire class about the 5 keys, but essentially this is just how Disney maintains their entire guest experience service across the board by following these structures. The first one is safety. Safety is your number one. You always wanna worry about safety on your Disney shift. While you're at Disney, that is their number one priority, everyone's safety. Before you're boarding Space Mountain, before you're grabbing your Binky bar, those are the same, safety comes first. Disney does like to ensure that your physical and emotional safety is all taken care of as well. It's why you're gonna see a lot of warning signs, you're gonna see a lot of watch your step signs, carefully designed around the queue areas as well as Disney. And even if you're walking fast to a ride, you might hear a cast member from over there saying, hey, don't run. And that's because even though you're not going to their job, it is everyone's job to keep you safe while you're on your trip. Number 2 is courtesy. Courtesy is what turns vacation into a big old memory. Being courteous as a cast member is number 2 because that is what Disney is known for. You know, cast members are the magic. It all comes from how special they make your trip, and that's because they're being courteous. It's also why cast members tend to go above and beyond. They want to make you the star of the show, and that's because you are on your vacation. And it's again, kind of all plays into why Disney is so magical for people, especially down to the cast members. The third key is show, and essentially Disney operates in the way that every single day is a performance. You're gonna learn a lot of things like on stage and off stage. On stage is when guests can see cast members. Off stage is when you cannot see guests, they cannot go back there. So things like the break room, behind the scenes, that is off stage. Why do they use those terms? It's because they want every single cast member to be playing a role into the bigger story that is Disney. Every single person does serve a purpose, all the way from Bob Iger, who's the CEO, to the first person on their DCP day 1. Every single person is contributing to the story that Disney tells, so that's why show is such an important aspect of the overall keys. Number 4 is efficiency. So efficiency matters to all of us, even if you think it doesn't. Efficiency is gonna come down to things like how quickly are you getting your food? How long are you waiting in lines? Are performances happening all on time? All of these things are really important, and it is a necessity for you to be efficient in your role and within the Disney company to make sure you're providing all the things that guests expect. If they want to watch the 3 o'clock parade, well gosh darn it, it better start at 3. Be efficient. From lightning lanes to mobile ordering, it's all about making sure you can do things at a very high quality without a ton of wait or lull time. Finally, the 5th and newest key is inclusion. So this one was added in 2020, and even though it might not be one of your first thoughts when you think of how Disney runs and how the company operates, it is a very integral part to the company. The entire point of the inclusion key was kind of what Disney operated on naturally, but making it a very important and distinct part of the company. It's making sure that everyone feels welcome, regardless of ability, race, background, identity, anything like that. It's more than a key, it is a commitment that they're making to the cast who works for Disney and for the guests that are there. One thing that's really important is the 5 keys are not just big buzzwords. Frankly, it could be seen as that, but Disney is so intentional in how they market their keys to the cast, how they teach you about the keys, and how they operate day to day, that you can tell it is really about the DNA of the company itself. When you become a cast member, this is what you need to focus on. This is how you kind of, if decisions are hard, you don't know what's right, you go by the keys. Well, first, is everyone safe? Okay, after that, how efficient is this choice? You kind of operate on those levels. They are so important to how you operate day to day as a cast member. Heck, even if you're not working for the Disney company, you actively can go to the parks right now and see all 5 of those keys being implemented in almost every single decision around you. And I say almost because no system is perfect, but it is pretty darn close. So all of this to be said, why are we talking about the keys? Because bringing them up in your application is going to be a huge plus for you. Disney wants people to work for them who understand their values, who understand and are able to jump into the role, and won't take a billion days to understand what the company's about. If you understand what the company is about before you even get there, you're already starting with a leg up. If you don't have a ton of work experience, that's okay too. You can use things like volunteer work, babysitting, things that might not be deemed an official job. Disney does not expect you to have 5+ years experience in the work field. You guys are young. Most of the people applying for this are pretty young. So it's just more so about understanding that you can work hard and you understand what it's gonna take, because as much as we love it, this is not a cakewalk. The application is just gonna focus on making sure that you hit all of those basic kind of qualifications that they're looking for before they move you on to the next step. Now, after the basic information and kind of trying to utilize those keywords, this is where you're going to get to see questions about specific roles that you want and the interests you have in those roles. Now, this is where it's so exciting to be a princess. Not everyone is going to be a princess. So if you really don't care about what you're doing and you just want to work for the Disney company, I recommend putting your interest in all of them as high. If you know that you would rather not participate if you have to work at a quick service, you need to be honest and put your interest in that as low. That being said, they are going to take that into account. If they only have quick service jobs and you don't want to work it, they're probably not going to continue to put you through. And that's okay. It's just about being honest and understanding that there's going to be, for every one princess, there's like 1,000 quick service jobs. So statistically, you're probably going to get that job. In my opinion, I think it's best to give a little bit of interest to every single role at the bare minimum. The DCP, you can't be picky. I've kind of already touched on that. If this is really just about working for Disney, truly, just say that you're interested in them. And then if you know that you're actually not, be honest about that and just understand the consequences of if they're gonna choose to move forward with you or not. And they might. The DCP, and one of my biggest pieces of advice to anyone at any stage of the DCP before you apply, as you're applying, after you're accepted, it is what you make it. You have to take responsibility for this experience and you have to decide if you want to enjoy it. I think a lot of people go in with a certain idea and it's not exactly what they want it to be, and then they get upset and it's just not, they're just not happy with it and they don't enjoy it. If you go in with an open mind, you want to make it fun, you will, and you will still have hard days, but overall you'll be able to really get a lot out of the experience.
All right, step number 4, interviews. And yes, I mean plural. The next step in the application process is the web-based interview. The WBI is a timed online questionnaire that Disney uses to get a feel for your personality, work style, and how well you align with their famous 5 keys. Think of it like a Disney-fied personality quiz, but with real stakes. See, and this is why we already told you to study the 5 keys. You're already prepared. You'll have 3 days to complete the WBI once you're invited. It usually takes 20 to 40-ish minutes, depending on how quickly you move through the questions. You'll find out immediately if you're moving on to the next step, which will be the phone interview, or if your application is no longer in consideration. You can expect statements like, I enjoy working in a fast-paced environment, and I prefer working alone rather than with a team. You'll rate how much you agree or disagree with these statements. And heads up, some of the questions will be repeated just in different ways because Disney will be checking for consistency. Disney wants to see that you're reliable, adaptable, and guest-focused. So think like a Disney World cast member. Now, here are some tips for the web-based interview. Be honest, but keep Disney's values in mind. Think, would a great cast member say this? Avoid too many neutral answers. Disney likes confident, decisive responses. Stay consistent. If you say you love teamwork, don't contradict that later. Find a quiet spot to complete the interview, take a deep breath, and read carefully. You've got this. If you don't pass the web-based interview, you will be ineligible to reapply for 6 months for any Disney role that requires a web-based interview. So take your time and give it your best shot. So you passed the web-based interview. Now what? First off, congratulations. That's a huge step. After passing the web-based interview, you'll be invited to schedule a 20 to 30-minute phone interview with a Disney recruiter. This is your chance to talk about your preferred roles, share your work experience, and show off your enthusiasm for Disney and guest service. Here's a peek at the kind of questions you might hear. Why are you interested in the Disney College Program? What are your top role preferences and why? Describe a time you worked as part of a team. How would you handle a guest who's upset? Are you comfortable working outdoors or in fast-paced environments? If you've marked interest in specific roles, like attractions or merchandise, you can also expect some role-specific questions too, like, how would you help a child who's scared to meet a character? What would you do if a guest didn't meet the height requirement for a ride? It's a casual phone interview, but it's still important. Think of it as a friendly chat with someone who wants to know what makes you excited about Disney World. Now, here are our pro tips for the phone interview. Prep your space. Find a quiet spot with good reception. Have your resume, role preferences, and a notepad handy. For example, when I took my phone interview, I was sitting at my kitchen table with so many note cards out. I had note cards for the 5 keys written out. I had one specifically where I wrote the recruiter's name as soon as they said hello so that I could then use their name when I'm speaking to them. It's just a nice little Disney touch. I had everything ready to go. Dress the part. Even though it's a phone call, wearing something Disney themed can boost your confidence. You can get some really cool Disney themed merch over at shop.AllEars.net, just if you want. Smile while you talk. It actually helps your voice sound more upbeat and friendly. Trust me, I know. Be yourself. Disney loves authenticity. Let your passion for the program and storytelling shine through. Mention your dream role. Even if they don't ask, find a way to share why you'd be perfect for it. Disney recruiters love passion. Ask a question at the end. Something like, what's your favorite part of working for Disney? Shows genuine interest and helps build rapport. After the phone interview, your dashboard will say in progress or in consideration. This phase can last anywhere from a few days to several weeks. Disney places applicants based on role availability and arrival dates. Some applicants get accepted quickly, while others wait through multiple waves of acceptances.
Step 5 is your application status. Now this is where things start to get pretty exciting in my opinion. After your interview, you're going to be eagerly awaiting the news. Did I get the job? Did I not get the job? And you're gonna wanna check every hour of every day. And I'm really, I empathize with that. Where you're going to be doing this, where you're going to be checking every hour of every day, is on your dashboard. This is also where you're going to find the information or any recent communications with Disney. There are going to be 5 possible statuses on your dashboard. So let's kind of break down what those are and what each one means. So the first one is application received. It means you submitted everything correctly. You've absolutely done the first step right. You've at least gotten your name in. Number 2 is going to be under review. You could be under review. This means you are currently being considered for a position. Most likely a recruiter or a manager has seen your application and they haven't tossed your name out, which means you're still in, which is, I think, a big win. Number 3 is in consideration. You are currently being considered. Whether it's through a phone interview or whether it's through recruiters and managers internally, you're being considered for something. We're getting close, we're getting pretty close. Our next step is that interview, which is very exciting. You're headed in the right direction. This means you are going to be interviewed, whether that means in person, on the phone, on a video, on some level, you're gonna be interviewed for something. I highly recommend checking your email and your dashboard consistently if you get to this point and you haven't had information about an interview yet, because they could communicate with you both ways and you would hate to miss it. And finally, if the interview and everything else goes well, you're gonna get your offer! Oh my goodness, you got an offer, that's so exciting! This is essentially when all of your communication is gonna switch entirely to dashboard. This is when you find out not your role, but if you get a role, which is very exciting, and you can choose to accept it or not. Now, not every single candidate is going to get all of these statuses on their dashboard. At some point, there's a potential that you're not going to make it past a certain step within the interview process, within the application process, and Disney will notify you on dashboard. Most likely you're going to see your status as no longer in consideration or something along those lines. But once you're in, you have to confirm that spot. You don't have a ton of time, so let's go ahead and tell them we're taking the job, because you'll lose it if you don't.
This isn't really part of the video, but we thought it'd be funny to include it, so I'm about to be embarrassed, but here we go. Here we go. It's no surprise that vlogging has become a rite of passage for many participants, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, any sort of social media. DCP vloggers love sharing their journey from move-in day to traditions class, their first shifts, fun park days, and even late night Taco Bell runs. I'm about to reveal a secret from the AllEars vault. Okay, we're opening the vault here for a second. People on the AllEars team don't even know this, and I'm sharing this with you on the internet for you all to find out. When Emma and I were working on this shot list together, we had a major bonding moment by sharing with each other the fact that we both tried to vlog our DCP experiences. Emphasis on tried. Wasn't very successful. We thought it might be a little fun to share a bit of that with you here in this video. So, yeah, so you're about to see some video clips of Baby Fry and Baby Emma from 2019, way before we got this job. So here you go. I'm about to be so embarrassed. I sent a link to Emma the other day to watch it, and I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I was so embarrassed. Anyways, here you go.
Good morning, YouTube. I hope you're having a magical day. My name is
Fry Bucket.
I've been accepted to the Disney College program, but it was a good day. It was a Monday. I was accepted for Fall Advantage, which means that I will be living and working at Disney World from June to January. I don't think I've said it yet, but my role is quick service food and beverage, which I'm super pumped about. It wasn't one of my top roles, but I'm actually really excited about it. I've heard many good things about quick service food and beverage. I don't know where I'm working yet. They will tell me my location closer to check-in day.
I've decided within the past few days that I'm gonna vlog my whole experience. So if you don't know me personally and you can't tell by the everything about me, I clearly don't vlog. I've never done it. I've never even made a YouTube video, but I don't know. This is just something that I thought was a fun and different way to save all of my memories that I'm about to make without just being able to look back on Instagram. And this is something that I think in a few years I'll be able to watch and just be so happy that I filmed it, and it's something that I think I'll be really glad I did.
Oh my gosh. Step number 6, confirming your spot. Now, after you've been accepted, you have to go into dorms. Dorms stands for Disney On-Site Resident Management System, which is how you'll get housing, pay your fees, and let Disney know you're actually coming. You'll use dorms quite a bit even once your program starts, so be sure to keep your login handy. After you see your offer on your dashboard, you will need to review and accept your offer within 7 days or you will lose your spot. Don't just automatically click yes either. Read through it, make sure you understand everything that is expected of you, make sure everything looks good, and then say yes before the 7 days are up. I don't think it'll take you 7 days to say yes. If you've already made it this far, you want to go, you're going to say yes. Next, you'll need to pay your program fees and select the dates you want to arrive and depart. If you want to live with specific people, you need to select the same arrival dates at this point. A non-refundable program fee is required for all Disney program participants. Note that fee payment looks different depending on your program type. International program participants and Disney interns must pay the full non-refundable program fee upon acceptance of their offer. Domestic, college, and culinary program participants will pay the program fee in 2 phases. Number 1, upon acceptance. $240 for program fees, activities, events, and administration. Number 2, 6 weeks prior to arrival, $215. Only if living in on-site housing at Flamingo Crossings Village for your initial housing costs. Now here's the fee breakdown for 2026. $240 supports administration, events, and activities scheduled throughout your program. For those choosing to live at Flamingo Crossing Village, $227 goes towards housing costs. $49 of the housing fee is applied to your Flamingo Crossings Village administration fee, with the remaining $178 applied to a portion of your first week of housing costs / rent. All program fees are non-refundable. In addition to these fees, you will agree to pay for housing costs and rent fees, which will come right out of your paycheck once you start working. Now let's talk about the not so fun part: weekly housing costs and rent. Now, weekly housing costs for 2025 range from $250 to $261 per week, depending on the type of apartment you live in during your program. These costs include utilities such as high-speed Wi-Fi, water, waste disposal, and electricity, with a cap. There's also parking fees. 2025 parking hang tags are $150 for participants who choose to bring a vehicle and live at Flamingo Crossings. If you extend your program, your decal must be renewed at an additional cost of $75. Please note, parking permits are offered on a first-come, first-served basis, and availability is not always guaranteed. After paying your fees, you'll need to fill out and complete the required information form.
Okay, after we've done all of these things, most of the time, you're still going to be in school. So you need to alert your school that, hey, I'm hitting the road for about a semester, potentially more. So this won't apply to everyone. This did apply to me. Like I said, I did it during my sophomore year. So I applied in the spring and then I went in the fall. So I started in January and then I ended up extending through the end of July. But all that to be said, I missed a semester of school. For many people, you should confirm with your school that you are allowed to do this before accepting your offer, and that you can take a sabbatical if that's your choice, or you can move to your classes online, which is significantly easier post-COVID. The moment I found out I was accepted into the DCP, I did pay my fees, and then the person I called after my mom was actually my school advisor to kind of go ahead and get that ball rolling. I had to first confirm that my school was okay with me stepping away for a while, which thankfully they actually made it work with me. And I actually had to file quite a bit of paperwork through financial aid so that way I wouldn't lose my scholarships or any of the jobs that I had on campus, and that I could return to all of those things and get all my financial aid back once I came back the following fall. I also was able to use this step to find out if my DCP would count towards any course credits. For some schools the answer is yes, for some schools the answer is no. Luckily for me, they did actually let me count it as an internship credit, so I did not have to take classes while I was there, but I think that I had to, it was like every month or so, I had to fill out a report and send it back to my school advisor to kind of like tell him what all I'm doing, how those things apply to my courses, how they impact me and my major and my professionalism. And I think I got like a 1 hour credit for doing that, but it also meant that I did not have to formally take off of school. I got to have at least that 1 hour credit. Now, like I said, some people are going to make the choice to do it later so they don't have to return to school. I know people who literally never went back to college after they started their DCP. They just applied for full-time and stayed. But if you're choosing to go back, you just need to make sure you're staying on top of all of these. We would hate for such a fun, wonderful, personal and professional experience to impact lifelong choices, potentially make you pay more for school or lose out on your spot in school entirely. Make sure you have these things in writing. Even if you're going in-person meetings, request from your advisor or from whoever you talk to in financial aid to have everything reiterated back to you in an email. Once I returned to school, there were some wonky moments with my financial aid where I just had to get some things cleared up, and luckily I had everything in writing and did not have to do a whole big roundabout of, well, you said, and play he said, she said. I had it all in writing. Now, some people, while you are away, actually do choose to continue completely going to school, at least part-time or even full-time, while they're on their DCP, and that is totally up to you. It is just understanding that the DCP is a full-time job. You will be working 40+ hours. Most of the time it is going to be a lot more than that. So if that is something that you feel like you can handle in addition to school, that's awesome. A lot of people, especially if you're doing this earlier in your college career, will struggle with that. So just kind of know yourself and be honest about what you're capable of. Disney also does not work around your course schedule. So if you have a class that you have to get to each day, sorry, you have another job. So definitely consider, if you are going to do online coursework, that it is almost entirely independent, or you work something out with Disney. They can be flexible, but you should not rely on that. And that's a question you should ask during your interview process if it matters to you, because they can give you a much more updated and accurate answer. Another thing you need to be aware of, the reason you need to be keeping up with those emails is because if you are going back to school, you're gonna still need to be advised. You're gonna have to talk to your school advisor and make sure that you can register for classes. I know that I did have to at one point set up a meeting online with my advisor so that way he could advise me and give me all of my class recommendations and codes and all the good stuff that you have to do to get your classes. The DCP is amazing. However, for most people, it is not necessarily the start of your career. So that's why I'm kind of harping on, if you want to be educated and that's something you desire to do and you want to go back to it, just be aware of all of these things. Heck, even my sorority, I had to file paperwork with them to get approved for something called ICMS, which just lets them know that I'm taking a year off, that I'm not skipping events just to skip them, and they didn't charge me for the semester. So lots of important things, and the first real big kid aspect of handling the DCP and the big shift in your life that is going to come by doing the DCP.
Step number 8, housing and roommates. Now, Flamingo Crossings isn't just a place to sleep. It's a purpose-built community designed to give Disney College Program participants a safe, stylish, and social living experience just minutes from the magic. You'll live in either a 2-bedroom or 4-bedroom apartment with options for shared bedrooms and bathrooms, private bedrooms and/or bathrooms. Those are limited availability. Each apartment includes hardwood-style flooring, stainless steel appliances, quartz countertops, a washer and dryer, smart TV, and a furniture package, which includes beds, dressers, couches, tables, chairs, even cookware and utensils. Flamingo Crossings also has a bunch of features to help you relax, recharge, and connect with your other program participants. There's resort-style pools with beach entry and sun decks. There's a 12,000 square foot fitness center open 24/7, a recreation center with arcade games, ping pong, billiards, and foosball, outdoor kitchens and barbecue grills, fire pits for cozy hangouts, basketball and volleyball courts, and study lounges and quiet spaces. My DCP was way before Flamingo Crossings was ever a thing, and reading through all of this, I'm very jealous. I know that it's more expensive for your rent now, and I'm sorry, but you're lucky. Now, during dorms registration, you will have the option to link with a roommate. You'll need each other's roommate ID numbers, which are found in your acceptance emails. One person acts as the roommate leader and enters the info for the group. You'll also select your apartment layout preference. And pro tip, we already said this, everyone in the group must have the same arrival and departure date to successfully link. If you don't already have someone in mind for a roommate, do not worry. Disney College Program participants are super active online. You can join Facebook groups for your arrival date. You can check out Reddit threads for roommate posts. Some people even make social media like TikToks and stuff to introduce themselves and find roommate matches. Speaking from personal experience, I talked to a lot of people on GroupMe before deciding on my roommates. I actually re-downloaded GroupMe for a couple things the past few days, and I was looking through all that stuff, so it was all still on there from 6 years ago, and it was really cute to look back on. So do not stress if you don't have a roommate right away. You'll fill out your housing preferences, number of roommates, apartment style, wellness/non-wellness stuff, which is like alcohol policy, and gender preferences. You can also note if you're bringing a car or need accessibility accommodations. Now, what if you don't link roommates before the program starts? No worries. Disney will assign you roommates based on your preferences. Many participants meet lifelong friends this way. It's part of the adventure.
Okay, it is officially getting real. We are on to step number 9, the welcome party. The welcome party is a celebratory event that they host pretty much right after you arrive at Flamingo Crossings. It's kind of in the name. It's Disney's way of saying like, you've made it, let's celebrate. I will never forget my welcome party. I went with my roommates, and it's kind of a mix of a cast exclusive like festival themed social night and a little bit of a party. When and where is it held? Typically it is within the first week of your arrival. It's gonna kind of depend. They don't host one every night, that'd be too much. So typically it's within the first few days, within the first week. It is gonna be hosted at one of the Flamingo Crossings villages, east or west. Make sure you check because I would hate for you to go to one and it is not there and you have to go to the other. You're gonna find the exact date, time, and location for your welcome party in your dorm's dashboard. So what can you expect at the welcome party? This is the fun stuff. This is the most exciting part when you first are getting started. You can expect fun live music. They have DJs. They actually have rare character meet and greets, themed decorations, photo opportunities, just a big way to celebrate and say like, look, I'm here. You can post on your Instagram if you're gonna attempt the Disney vlog as we all do. They also will do trivia contests. Sometimes they'll even do giveaways like Disney, they call it like Disney swag bags, that kind of stuff. And even sometimes just stuff for your housing. You know, you never know what you're gonna need, and they do a lot of that fun stuff at the welcome party. This is your first real chance to meet fellow DCP attendees. It's other college participants are gonna be there. This is your first real moment of like, you're moved in, your parents are gone, or the crew who moved you down are gone, you're on your own, and this is it, you started. It's also a great time to kind of mingle with like program champions in the sense that they can kind of start giving you advice, giving you ideas of what to expect if you still aren't 100% sure. And it really is just the start of kind of building your network within Disney. It just sets the tone for the entire program. It's fun, it's exclusive, it's inclusive, and it's really just for you guys to celebrate the fact that you have worked hard and you've absolutely put yourself out there to try to be a part of this company that we all love so much.
Well, we've walked through every step, from submitting your application to acing the web-based interview and getting ready for your phone call with a recruiter. Now it's your turn to bring the magic. Just remember, be yourself, channel that Disney cast member energy, and don't stress, you're not alone. Thousands of hopeful future cast members are right there with you.
So whether you are packing your suitcase for Flamingo Crossings right now, you're waiting on your acceptance letter, or you're trying to decide if applying is right for you, just know that there is fun and magic along every single step of this journey. If you've got questions, tips, funny additions, things that you feel like people should know before they go on their DCP, make sure to drop them in the comments below. We personally love hearing from our fellow DCPers, and I know that every single one of you does have a good story to tell. Make sure to go ahead and stick around, like, subscribe. We do this all the time. We are super serious about Disney fun. Make sure to comment the secret code down below, and we'll see you next time.